Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped to think about what truly makes a leader? Is it the title they hold, the authority they wield, or is it something deeper, something more meaningful that sets them apart? Let me tell you this, real leadership isn't about power or control. It's about serving others, lifting them up, and guiding them with kindness and honesty. That's where true influence begins. Think about it for a moment. When someone leads with kindness, they create trust. And when there's trust, people feel safe. They feel seen. They feel valued. A leader who approaches others with compassion doesn't just inspire loyalty, they inspire growth. People don't follow titles forever, but they will walk through fire for someone who genuinely cares about their well-being. Kindness isn't weakness, it's strength. It takes courage to lead with empathy in a world that often rewards the opposite. But kindness alone isn't enough. Honesty has to be part of the equation. Without honesty, even the kindest words can ring hollow. Being honest means telling the truth, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. It means having the integrity to admit mistakes, to own up when things go wrong, and to always do what's right, even if no one is watching. Leaders who are honest build credibility. Their actions match their words, and that consistency earns respect. Now here's the beautiful thing. Kindness and honesty work together like two sides of the same coin. When you're kind, people open their hearts to you. When you're honest, they open their mind. Together, these qualities create an environment where people thrive, where ideas flow freely, where challenges become opportunities, and where teamwork becomes unstoppable. Let me share something with you. The best leaders aren't the ones barking orders from the top of the mountain. They're the ones walking alongside their team, rolling up their sleeves and saying, "We're in this together." They understand that leadership isn't about elevating themselves. It's about elevating others. They know that success isn't measured by how high they climb, but by how many people they help reach new heights. Think about the people in your life who have made the biggest impact on you. Chances are they weren't the ones shouting the loudest or demanding attention. They were the ones who listened, who encouraged, who believed in you when you struggled to believe in yourself. Those are the kinds of leaders we should all strive to be. The kind that leaves a lasting legacy, not of fear or force, but of love and inspiration. So here's my challenge to you. Whether you're leading a team, a family, or simply yourself, remember this. Kindness opens doors and honesty keeps them open. Treat people with dignity. Speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, and never underestimate the ripple effect of your action. Because at the end of the day, leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about showing up, staying true, and making a difference. One act of kindness, one moment of honesty at a time. Let's talk about something that might surprise you. Leadership isn't just reserved for those at the top of organizations or in positions of authority. Leadership is a mindset, an approach to life that anyone can adopt. Whether you're managing a team, working alongside colleagues, raising children, or simply navigating friendships, your ability to lead with kindness and honesty shapes the world around you. Every interaction you have presents an opportunity to inspire, guide, and uplift others. And when you choose to do so with sincerity, you leave an indelible mark. Think about it this way. Every person you meet carries their own burdens, struggles, and fears. You may not always see them, but they're there. A kind word, a genuine smile, or even a simple acknowledgement of someone's effort can make all the difference in their day or even their life. Leaders understand, they recognize that people aren't machines, they're human beings with emotions, dreams, and vulnerabilities. When you treat others with kindness, you validate their humanity. You remind them that they matter. And when people feel valued, they naturally rise to the occasion. But here's the catch. Kindness doesn't mean avoiding difficult conversations or sugarcoating the truth. In fact, true kindness often requires honesty. Imagine a scenario where someone on your team is underperforming. If you ignore the issue because you're afraid of hurting their feelings, are you really helping them? No, you're doing them a disservice. A leader who cares enough to address the problem directly, while still being respectful and compassionate, is practicing both kindness and honesty. By pointing out areas for improvement, you give them the chance to grow. And by delivering feedback with empathy, you ensure they know you're on their side. This balance between kindness and honesty is what separates good leaders from great ones. Great leaders don't shy away from tough decisions, but they also don't bulldoze over people's feelings. They find ways to communicate openly while maintaining respect and understanding. This creates a culture of trust where people feel safe to take risks, share ideas, and admit mistakes. After all, innovation thrives in environments where individuals aren't afraid to fail, and failure becomes less intimidating when you know you're supported by a leader who values both your potential and your dignity. Now, let me ask you another question. Have you ever noticed how some leaders seem to have a magnetic quality? People gravitate toward them. They listen intently when these leaders speak. They follow their advice willingly. What's their secret? Is it charisma? Charm? Maybe, but more often than not, it's authenticity. Authentic leaders are consistent in their actions and words. They don't put on a facade or pretend to be someone they're not. Instead, they embrace who they are, flaws and all, and invite others to do the same. Kindness plays a huge role in fostering authenticity. When you approach others with warmth and openness, you create space for real connections to form. People sense when you're being genuine, and they respond in kind. Honesty reinforces this connection. When you speak truthfully, even when it's uncomfortable, you demonstrate that you respect others enough to be straightforward with them. This builds credibility. Over time, people come to trust not only what you say, but also your intentions behind it. And trust, my friends, is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. Here's an important point to consider. Leading with kindness and honesty doesn't mean you'll please everyone all the time. Some people might misinterpret your honesty as harshness. Others might take advantage of your kindness, but that's okay. Not everyone will understand or appreciate your approach, and that's not your responsibility. Your job as a leader is to stay true to your values, regardless of external opinions. Remember, leadership isn't about popularity contest. It's about making the right choices, even when they're unpopular. Let me share a personal observation. There's a misconception that kindness makes you weak, that it somehow undermines your authority. Nothing could be further from the truth. Kindness takes immense strength. It requires patience, self-control, and emotional intelligence. Anyone can snap at someone or dismiss their concerns, but choosing to respond with grace and understanding, that takes courage. Similarly, honesty demands bravery. Admitting fault, confronting uncomfortable truths, and standing firm in your principles can be daunting. Yet these qualities define exceptional leaders, the ones who inspire lasting change. Consider this analogy. Think of kindness as the soil and honesty as the seed. Together they create fertile ground for growth. Without the soil, the seed has nowhere to take root. Without the seed, the soil remains barren. The same applies to leadership. Kindness provides the nurturing environment needed for relationships to flourish, while honesty plants the seeds of trust and accountability. When combined, they yield extraordinary results, not just for individuals, but for entire teams, families, and communities. One of the most powerful aspects of leading with kindness and honesty is its ripple effect. When you model these behaviors, others take notice. They begin to emulate them in their own interactions. Before long, you've sparked a chain reaction of positivity and integrity. This is especially true in workplaces, where company culture often reflects the attitudes and actions of its leaders. A leader who prioritizes kindness fosters collaboration. One who emphasizes honesty promotes transparency. Together, these traits cultivate an atmosphere of mutual respect and shared purpose. I want to pause for a moment and acknowledge that leading this way isn't always easy. There will be days when you're tired, stressed, or frustrated. Days when extending kindness feels like the last thing you want to do. Days when honesty seems too risky or inconvenient. On those days, remember why you chose to lead in the first place. Was it for recognition, power, or was it to make a difference to help others succeed and thrive? Keep that why front and center. Let it guide you back to your core values no matter how challenging the circumstances. Another critical aspect of effective leadership is active listening. Too often we equate leadership with speaking, giving orders, offering advice, sharing insight. But true leadership starts with listening. Listening shows others that their voices matter. It demonstrates humility and a willingness to learn. When you listen actively, with genuine curiosity, and without judgment, you gain valuable perspectives that enrich your decision making. Plus, you strengthen bonds with those around you. People feel heard, understood, and appreciated, all hallmarks of a kind and honest leader. Active listening also ties into empathy, which is essential for leadership. Empathy allows you to step into someone else's shoes and view situations from their perspective. It helps you anticipate challenges, offer support, and tailor your approach to meet individual needs. For example, imagine two employees struggling with similar tasks. One might need encouragement and reassurance, while the other might benefit more from practical guidance. A leader who practices empathy recognizes these nuances and adapts accordingly. This personalized touch not only boosts performance, but also deepens loyalty and engagement. Empathy combined with kindness and honesty creates a trifecta of leadership excellence. These qualities work synergistically to build stronger, healthier relationships. They foster open communication, reduce conflicts, and enhance overall morale. Moreover, they empower people to bring their best selves to the table. When individuals feel supported, respected, and trusted, they're far more likely to contribute meaningfully and go above and beyond expectation. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about accountability. Accountability is a cornerstone of effective leadership, yet it's often misunderstood. Many associate it solely with holding others responsible for their actions. While that's certainly part of it, accountability goes much deeper. True accountability begins with taking ownership of your own behavior. As a leader, you set the standard. If you expect others to act with integrity, you must embody it yourself. If you want them to admit mistakes, you need to model vulnerability, by owning up to yours. Accountability also involves following through on commitments. When you promise to do something, whether big or small, keep that promise. Reliability builds credibility. It signals to others that they can count on you, which strengthens trust. At the same time, hold others accountable with kindness and fairness. Address issues promptly and constructively, focusing on solutions rather than blame. This approach not only resolves problems efficiently, but also reinforces a culture of mutual respect and continuous improvement. Now let's discuss resilience. Leading with kindness and honesty doesn't shield you from adversity. Quite the opposite. It prepares you to face it head on. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and persevere despite obstacles. It's a trait that every leader must develop, regardless of their style. However, resilience looks different when rooted in kindness and honesty. Instead of bulldozing through challenges with brute force, resilient leaders navigate difficulties with grace and wisdom. They lean on their values, seek input from others, and remain steadfast in their commitment to doing what's right. Resilient leaders also prioritize self-care. They understand that you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being enables you to show up fully for others. It gives you the energy and clarity needed to tackle tough situations effectively. Self-care isn't selfish, it's strategic. By investing in yourself, you become better equipped to serve those around you. Speaking of serving others, let's delve into servant leadership, a concept closely aligned with kindness and honesty. Servant leaders prioritize the needs of their team or community above their own. They view their role as a privilege, not a position of power. Their primary goal is to empower others, remove barriers, and provide resources that enable success. This selfless approach inspires loyalty, boosts morale, and drives collective achievement. Servant leadership isn't about being passive or submissive. On the contrary, it requires boldness and vision. It means making tough calls when necessary, advocating for your team, and championing their growth. But it's done with humility and a genuine desire to see others succeed. Servant leaders celebrate victories as a group and shoulder failures as a team. They understand that their success is intrinsically tied to the success of those they lead. Another key element of servant leadership is mentorship. Great leaders don't hoard knowledge or expertise. They share it freely. They invest time and effort into coaching, guiding, and developing others. They recognize that leadership isn't a finite resource. It's something that grows when nurtured. By mentoring others, you not only help them reach their full potential, but also expand your own capacity to lead. After all, teaching is one of the most effective ways to solidify your understanding and refine your skills. Mentorship also fosters a sense of belonging. When people feel invested in, they're more likely to stay engaged and committed. They see themselves as part of something bigger than themselves, a mission, a vision, a shared purpose. This sense of belonging fuels motivation and amplifies productivity. It transforms groups of individuals into cohesive units, working toward common goals. Let's circle back to the idea of legacy for a moment. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Do you want to be remembered as someone who achieved great things, or as someone who helped others achieve greatness? Both are admirable, but the latter has a far-reaching impact. When you lead with kindness and honesty, you create a legacy of empowerment. You inspire future generations to carry forward the values you've instilled. You plant seeds of positivity and integrity that continue to grow long after you're gone. Legacy isn't just about grand gestures or monumental achievement. It's woven into the everyday moments, the small acts of kindness, the truthful conversations, the unwavering support. These seemingly minor interactions accumulate over time, shaping lives in profound ways. So don't underestimate the power of your daily choice. Each decision you make contributes to the larger narrative of your leadership journey. Finally, I'd like to touch on gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for leaders. It shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. It reminds you to appreciate the people, opportunities, and experiences that enrich your life. Expressing gratitude regularly, whether verbally, in writing, or through actions, strengthens relationships and fosters goodwill. It reinforces a positive cycle where kindness begets kindness and honesty breeds trust. Grateful leaders are also more optimistic. They approach challenges with a solution-oriented mindset, viewing obstacles as temporary hurdles rather than insurmountable barriers. This optimism rubs off on others, creating a contagious sense of hope and possibility. Teams led by grateful leaders tend to be more cohesive, innovative, and resilient. They operate from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, unlocking untapped potential and achieving remarkable results. In closing this extended exploration of leadership through kindness and honesty, let me reiterate that leadership is a choice, a daily commitment to act with integrity, empathy, and purpose. It's about showing up authentically, treating others with dignity, and striving to leave the world better than you found it. Every interaction is an opportunity to lead, to inspire, to make a difference. So embrace the challenge. Lead boldly, yet gently. Speak honestly, yet compassionately. And watch as your influence spreads far and wide, touching hearts and transforming lives. Let's dive into something that might sound simple, but holds immense power: the art of encouragement. Encouragement is one of the most underrated tools in leadership, yet it has the ability to transform people's lives. When you encourage someone, you're not just giving them a pat on the back or saying good job. You're planting a seed of belief in their mind, a belief that they are capable, that they have what it takes to overcome challenges and achieve their goals. And here's the thing about seeds: they grow. That small act of encouragement can blossom into confidence, determination, and ultimately, success. Think about the last time someone encouraged you. Maybe it was during a tough project at work, or perhaps when you were doubting yourself in a personal pursuit. Do you remember how it felt? It probably didn't take much, just a few kind words. But it made all the difference, didn't it? Now imagine being that person for someone else. Imagine using your voice, your presence, and your influence to lift others up. As a leader, this is your superpower. You don't need fancy titles or grand gestures to make an impact. Sometimes all it takes is recognizing someone's effort, acknowledging their progress, or simply reminding them that they're not alone. Encouragement goes hand in hand with kindness. When you encourage others, you're showing them that you care not just about the outcome, but about them. You're telling them that their contributions matter, that their struggles are seen, and that their potential is limitless. This isn't flattery or empty praise. It's genuine recognition of their worth. And when people feel valued, they step up, they push harder, dig deeper, and discover strengths they didn't even know they had. But let's be clear: encouragement doesn't mean ignoring problems or sugarcoating reality. A true leader knows how to balance encouragement with honesty. If someone is heading down the wrong path, it's your responsibility to guide them back, not by tearing them down, but by pointing out the truth with compassion. For example, instead of saying, "This isn't good enough," try framing it as, "I see so much potential in you, and I believe you can take this even further." The message is the same. You're asking for improvement, but the tone makes all the difference. One leaves the person feeling defeated, while the other inspires them to rise to the challenge. Now let's talk about consistency. Kindness and honesty aren't traits you can turn on and off, depending on the situation. To truly lead with these values, you need to embody them consistently. People can sense when someone is being insincere or manipulative. They'll notice if your kindness feels forced or if your honesty seems calculated. Authenticity is key. Be the same person in private as you are in public. Treat everyone with respect, regardless of their role or status. Speak the truth, even when it's inconvenient. Over time, this consistency builds trust, a cornerstone of effective leadership. Trust doesn't happen overnight. It's earned through repeated actions that align with your word. Every time you follow through on a promise, every time you admit a mistake, every time you show up for someone who needs you, you're adding another brick to the foundation of trust. And once that foundation is strong, incredible things become possible. Teams collaborate more effectively. Relationships deepen. Goals that once seemed impossible suddenly feel within reach. Trust creates a sense of security, and when people feel secure, they're free to innovate, experiment, and grow. Here's a thought experiment for you. Picture two leaders, one who leads with fear and intimidation, and another who leads with kindness and honesty. Which team do you think performs better over the long term? Sure, the fear-based leader might get short-term compliance, but at what cost? Fear breeds resentment, stifles creativity, and erodes morale. On the other hand, the leader who prioritizes kindness and honesty fosters an environment where people feel empowered to contribute their best ideas. They're not afraid to speak up because they know they'll be heard. They're willing to take risks because they know they'll be supported. That's the kind of culture that drives sustainable success. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about humility. Humility is often misunderstood as weakness, but in reality, it's a hallmark of great leadership. Humble leaders understand that they don't have all the answers. They're open to learning from others, whether those others are peers, subordinates, or mentors. This openness not only broadens their perspective, but also signals to others that their input is valued. When people feel like their opinions matter, they're more likely to engage fully and invest in the mission. Humble leaders also aren't afraid to admit when they're wrong. In fact, they see mistakes as opportunities for growth, not just for themselves, but for the entire team. By owning up to errors and discussing what could have been done differently, they model accountability and resilience. This sets a powerful example for others to follow. It shows that failure isn't something to be ashamed of. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. Another aspect of humility is celebrating others' successes. Too often, leaders fall into the trap of wanting to be the center of attention. They crave the spotlight and seek validation through external achievement. But the most impactful leaders know that true fulfillment comes from seeing others succeed. When someone on your team accomplishes something remarkable, celebrate it wholeheartedly. Give credit where it's due. Share the win publicly. Not only does this boost morale, but it also reinforces a culture of collaboration and mutual support. Collaboration brings me to another critical point: inclusivity. Inclusive leadership means ensuring that everyone feels welcome, respected, and empowered to participate. It means creating spaces where diverse perspectives are not only tolerated, but actively sought out and celebrated. Why? Because diversity fuels innovation. When people from different backgrounds, experiences, and viewpoints come together, they bring unique insights that can solve problems in ways no single individual could. Leading inclusively requires both kindness and honesty. Kindness ensures that everyone feels safe to express themselves
without fear of judgment or ridicule. Honesty ensures that difficult conversations around bias, privilege, and fairness are addressed head on. These discussions may be uncomfortable, but they're necessary. Ignoring systemic issues won't make them disappear. It will only perpetuate harm. A leader who tackles these topics with courage and empathy demonstrates a commitment to equity and justice. Now let's touch on adaptability. The world is constantly changing, and effective leaders must be able to adapt accordingly. This doesn't mean abandoning your core values. It means finding new ways to apply them in evolving circumstances. For instance, leading with kindness looks different in a remote work setting than it does in an office. Instead of casual check-ins by the water cooler, you might schedule regular virtual coffee chats. Instead of handwritten notes of appreciation, you might send thoughtful emails or messages. Adaptability also involves staying curious and open-minded. Leaders who embrace lifelong learning are better equipped to navigate uncertainty. They read, listen, ask questions, and seek feedback. They understand that growth never stops, no matter how experienced or accomplished they become. This mindset not only enhances their own capabilities, but also inspires others to adopt a similar approach. After all, the best leaders are those who ignite a passion for learning in the people around them. Speaking of inspiration, let's explore the concept of visionary leaders. Paint a picture of what's possible. They articulate a clear, compelling goal that motivates others to join them on the journey. But here's the catch. A vision without action is just a dream. To turn that dream into reality, you need to break it down into actionable steps and empower others to execute them. This is where kindness and honesty play crucial roles. Kindness helps you connect emotionally with your team, rallying them around the shared purpose. Honesty keeps everyone grounded, ensuring that expectations are realistic and challenges are acknowledged. A visionary leader also understands the importance of flexibility. No plan survives contact with reality. Obstacles will arise, priorities will shift, and adjustments will need to be made. The key is to remain steadfast in your commitment to the end goal, while being adaptable in your methods. Communicate openly with your team about any changes, explaining the reasoning behind them, and inviting in. This transparency builds trust and ensures that everyone stays aligned. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on the role of patience in leadership. Patience is often overlooked, yet it's essential for fostering growth, both in yourself and in others. Change takes time. Learning curves exist for a reason. People need space to experiment, make mistakes, and learn from them. Rushing the process or micromanaging every detail only stifles creativity and breeds frustration. A patient leader allows room for trial and error, offering guidance and support along the way. Patience doesn't mean passivity. It means understanding that progress is rarely linear. There will be setbacks, plateaus, and moments of doubt. But a leader who practices patience knows that these are temporary phases. They keep the bigger picture in mind, encouraging perseverance and resilience. They remind their team and themselves that every step forward, no matter how small, is still movement in the right direction. One final thought before we wrap up this segment. Gratitude. Gratitude is a practice that benefits both the giver and the receiver. When you express gratitude, you're not just thanking someone for what they've done. You're affirming their value. You're telling them that their efforts are noticed, appreciated, and meaningful. This simple act can have a profound impact on morale and motivation. It strengthens bonds, fosters loyalty, and creates a positive feedback loop where kindness begets more kindness.
Gratitude doesn't require elaborate gestures. A heartfelt thank you can go a long way. So can writing a note, sending a message, or taking a moment to acknowledge someone publicly. The key is sincerity. People can tell when gratitude is genuine versus when it's perfunctory. Make it a habit to regularly recognize the contributions of those around you. Not only will it brighten their day, but it will also reinforce a culture of appreciation and mutual respect. As we continue exploring the principles of leadership through kindness and honesty, remember this: leadership isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up each day with the intention to serve, to inspire, and to lead with integrity. It's about making choices that reflect your values, even when it's hard, and it's about leaving a legacy that uplifts others and creates a ripple effect of positivity. Every interaction, every decision, every word you speak contributes to the story of your leadership. So choose wisely, act kindly, and speak honestly. The world is waiting for leaders like you. In wrapping up, remember that leadership isn't about titles or authority. It's about serving others with kindness and honesty. When you lead with empathy, integrity, and authenticity, you create a ripple effect that transforms lives and builds lasting legacies. Trust is the foundation, encouragement is the fuel, and accountability ensures progress. Whether you're guiding a team, nurturing relationships, or simply striving to be better every day,